Yo guys, today I want to go over the tank changes. Before I do, I want to be clear that this is the media tour build and not the final release. This build is about 2 or 3 months old and everything is subject to change, and if something looks underpowered or has something wrong with it, there will be time even after the final release of Dawntrail to change or buff jobs. But with all that being said, let's get started. I want to talk about Warrior first. Everything looks really good, man. I want to go over the new skills first. One of the new skills is called Damnation. It's an upgrade to Vengeance and reduces damage taken by 40% and delivers an attack with a potency of 55 every time you suffer physical damage. So this is pretty much the same, except for instead of 30, it's now 40, and this is the additional effect, which is Primeval Impulse when the effect expires. So basically, like, you're going to pop this, you're going to use it, and it's going to last for 15 seconds, and then after that 15 seconds, it's going to put a hot on you, healing over time, for 400 potency per tick, and you're going to get 5 ticks. So that's 2,000 healing potency. The way this game works, I don't necessarily think that that hot is going to be insanely powerful. I think it'll be decent. I don't think it will be like game changing or anything, but regardless of that, I do think, I mean, obviously it's an upgrade, so, you know, it's like free t-shirt, we're going to take it. But I think this will shine more in Savage content than Ultimate, because typically, you know, in Ultimate content, it's either it just kills you in one hit or you live. There's not very much self-sustain. There is a little bit. There is some, like with BJCC and T, they hit really hard their autos. So, you know, stuff like that, it will really shine. But for super big busters, it won't really have as a profound effect as the others, which I'll talk about the others in the other videos. But overall, this is a good change. The hot is pretty potent. I think it will find some uses. That's the CD. So Warrior basically gets 2 new DPS abilities. They get Primal Wrath, which is an off GCD. Delivers an attack for 600 for the first enemy and 70% less for all remaining enemies, and it's an off GCD. So how this works is when you use Inner Release, every time you fell cleave under Inner Release, you'll get a stack of like Wrath. And then eventually, after you get 3 stacks, you'll become Wrathful, and your Inner Release button will turn into Primal Wrath. This move is really cool. I think it's pretty strong. My only issue with this is, why do those stacks exist at all? I'll also talk about this in the Paladin and Gunbreaker videos. But when you use like Fight or Flight, for example, your Fight or Flight will instantly turn into Goring Blade. And when you use No Mercy, your No Mercy button will turn into Sonic Break. So why doesn't this happen with Warrior? I feel like that having to fell cleave 3 times is completely unnecessary. It doesn't really serve a purpose to me. Like, it's not skill intensive. Basically, it's a system that I think they thought it looked good on paper, but in practice, it doesn't make any sense why it's there. Is it the end of the world? No, not really. Now, it doesn't happen very often, but what about the times when you pop in a release and you pop it just for the Primal Rend? Well, in those cases, you would actually be able to get off the Primal Wrath, but because you can't actually fell cleave 3 times to get the proc, you'll miss out on that proc. Now, is it the end of the world? Probably not. I can think of like maybe 2 instances in the entire game where it matters, but that's not the point. The point isn't that it only happens twice. The point is why is it there? Like, what does it serve? Is it skill intensive? No. Does it change your rotation at all? No. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't serve a purpose. I probably talked about this for way too long, but basically, you just fell cleave 3 times, your Inner Release turns into Primal Wrath, and then you fucking do it. And it is really, really, really fun to use this ability, especially because it's off GCD, and Warrior doesn't have very many off GCDs. So the next ability is the nuke, and that is Primal Ruination. I gotta say, man, these new Warrior abilities are metal as fuck. We get Damnation, Primal Wrath, and Primal Ruination. Holy shit. That is badass, man. That is just popping Damnation. Dude, that is cool as fuck. Anyway, so Primal Ruination. It's just like Primal Rend, critical direct hit. Oh, Primal Wrath is not critical direct hit, by the way. Forgot to mention that. This does 740 potency for the first enemy and 70% less for all remaining enemies. I don't really get the 70% less balancing issues, I guess. I don't know. But this might be changed. This might not. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? Probably not. So basically how this works is you pop in a release, then you use Primal Rend, and then your Primal Rend button will turn into Primal Ruination. That's it. Really easy. The new stuff for Warrior is insanely easy, and I want to talk about the flexibility for a second. When I say flexibility, I mean like how restrictive these abilities are, or like, can you use them out of order? So the answer to that is it's not restrictive very much at all, outside of requiring the 3 fell cleaves, but that's your burst window anyway, so you're going to do it. Besides that, you can use Primal Wrath anytime within 30 seconds. And the same thing for Primal Ruination. So what I mean is like, let's say there are raid buffs that are late. So you want to go Fell Cleave, proc your Primal Wrath, and then maybe, you know, you do like a heavy swing and then an Inner Chaos. And now raid buffs are up. So now you go Inner Chaos and then Primal Wrath and then Primal Rend and then another Inner Chaos and then another, and then Primal Ruination. You can use them out of order. So you can go Primal Rend, Inner Chaos, Primal Ruination into Wrath, you know. So basically you're not locked into using it. As long as you use it within the 30 seconds, you're really good. So this flexibility, I think, is very, very nice. And because they have that flexibility, that is why I brought up the need for the stacks to use Primal Wrath. It just seems kind of... It seems like they were trying to bring back Wrath stacks from like Heaven's Ward and A Realm Reborn and shit, but it just doesn't really work now, in my opinion. But either way, Primal Wrath, super fun to use, badass. Primal Ruination, super fun to use, badass. Damnation, awesome. Oh, just so you guys know, none of the other abilities changed. I'm going to have a tooltip video, so I might be wrong on a couple like little potencies here and there, but for the most part, no abilities change. Basically, Warrior's DPS rotation doesn't change at all. It literally doesn't change at all. You're still going to apply Storm's Eye, which I will talk about Storm's Eye after I show you guys this. But you can see there's the new animation for Inner Chaos. There's the Primal Rend, another Inner Chaos. Now here is where the stacks will come in. There's stack 1 on my buff bar. There's stack 2, stack 3. Now it procs this, and then you can go into that. Ooh, man, that is... Dude, that's so fucking cool, man. Oh, man. Just fucking Primal Wrath. Boom! And then boom! It's as fun as it looks. It's as fun as it looks. When you do these abilities, you're going to be like, yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes you see the meme, right? And then the caption is, guys will see this and say, hell yeah. That's one of these. Just hell yeah. It's really good. Anyway, now I want to talk about Storm's Eye. All right, so Storm's Eye still exists. Now, I was sad to see this. I was hoping that they would take away Storm's Eye. It is a severely outdated buff that you need to keep on yourself. I mean, they've taken away like Blood of the Dragon or whatever the fuck it is. They've taken away Sweeton. They've taken... Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that all of these self buffs, they have started to take them away. Well, when I say take them away, I mean make them traits. Sorry, excuse me. I mean make them traits. Like Storm's Eye should just be a trait. It's really outdated in my opinion, and the issue still persists that Inner Release does not give you Storm's Eye. So this is a problem. This is really annoying, especially when they increase the burst window by an extra GCD. They actually didn't even increase the amount it gives you. So this is a clear oversight. In my opinion, Storm's Eye should be a trait, and instead of having Storm's Eye and Storm's Path, you should have like Butcher's Block. For those of you that don't know, Butcher's Block was a combo used a long time ago in A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward. I'm pretty sure even Stormblood, yeah. But basically, it was your highest DPS combo, and it also generated a bunch of threat. Now, the threat doesn't matter, but my point being here is that they could add in another mechanic to Warrior without Storm's Eye, even if it was just something simple. So let's say you use a Butcher's Block combo, and Butcher's Block will make your next Storm's Path do extra potency. So that would be a reason to do Butcher's Block and then Storm's Path. Now, that's just one example. They could do many others, which I'm sure you guys have really good ideas for as well. But my point is that Storm's Eye is outdated, and for whatever reason, they haven't updated it. So hopefully we'll get that next expansion. The issue right now is that Inner Release should give you Storm's Eye, and it does not. Hopefully they will fix it, but right now they haven't. Shake It Off is still the same. I should have said this at the beginning of the video, but Holmgang is the same. Holmgang will still remain the best undisputed champion of Invulns. So you will still be able to Holmgang like 5 times in DSR. Okay, so Holmgang remains unchanged. So that was actually the first thing I checked. The DPS rotation of Warrior doesn't really change at all, except for you have 1 extra off GCD and 1 extra GCD during the burst window. But besides that, it pretty much plays exactly the same. It's a little tankier, stronger on defense because of Damnation. All right. So just your standard stuff, man. Excuse me clicking the abilities. I did not bring my mouse to this event. The new Inner Chaos looks really, really cool, man. So it's 1 Fell Cleave, you get a stack, 2 Fell Cleaves, 3 Fell Cleaves, proc your ability, boom, and bam. And that's it. That's really it, man. I'll show you the Damnation stuff. So I'm going to pop Damnation here. So basically you can see it here on my hotbar, see it there, reduced damage taken, still has the reflect. The cure potency, it's pretty decent. It will definitely shine more, I believe, in Savage than Ultimate. I think it'll be a lot more noticeable in Savage. But, you know, who knows, man? They might have a lot more self-sustain. But as you can see, the ticks are pretty potent. It's almost a cure 1, so you get like 4 cure 1s, I believe, or something like that. It's just an upgrade all around. Of the tank's abilities, on first glance, I feel Warriors is the weakest. The regen is not as potent as some of the other ones. That's not to say that it's bad. It's just some of the other ones are quite a bit better. But Warrior still has home gang, so that is the most important thing. Pretty much that's it. The extra DPS abilities that you get, they're really, really fun to use, man. And I know that it's only 2. I know that it's only an off GCD and it's only a GCD, but man, it's like, it's one of those things where if you've played Warrior, you know, for a while, you're probably craving like an extra off GCD or 2. And not only that, but using Primal Rend is probably one of the most fun abilities in the game. And the fact that you get another ability that is just as cool. I'm just going to say this, man, like as a Warrior player, it does not take very much to satisfy a Warrior player. You just give us a couple Fell Cleaves and it's like, hell yeah, that's it. Fuck yes, that's all I want. Dude, we're very easy to satisfy. We're a bunch of fucking idiot monkeys, you know, that's all we want to do. We just want a Fell Cleave. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that they gave us that is really, really, really fucking cool, at least in my opinion. If you were looking for a complete rework or a complete like a redesign or something of the job, then you're not going to find it here. But if you really enjoy the way Warrior plays now, you will love it at level 100. But yeah, I think that's it. That's really all I got for Warrior, man. It's badass, 10 out of 10. We're just going to have to hope that the potencies are, you know, not like they were at the beginning of Endwalker, because that was ridiculous. I will say this though, on a final note, whatever potencies that you see here, this is not the final build, guys. This is not the final build. So I'm sure when the math nerds get a hold of it and they spreadsheet out every single rotation, there's some jobs that may or may not seem weak. Don't panic. Like, don't freak the fuck out. Wait until the final release. You can freak the fuck out after the final release and nothing's changed. Then you can freak out. But like this media tour build, I want to say again, is like, it's like 2 or 3 months old. So anyway, that's all I got for Warrior. I really like the changes. If you like playing it now, you're going to love playing it at level 100.